Hello everyone and welcome to the Metasploit course by Pact Publishing. Alright, so my name is Alexis Ahmed and I've been an ethical hacker and a penetration tester for about 6 years, and I've had a lot of experience in the security field. Alright, so I currently run a YouTube channel with over 43,000 subscribers as of recording this video on ethical hacking, Linux and programming. So my skill set is exposed out online, and you can definitely tell I know what I'm doing. Alright, so when it comes down to what I do professionally, I am a penetration tester, and my job is to test or to find vulnerabilities in company networks, company websites, more specifically payment systems. That's what my specialty is. I find vulnerabilities and I help companies mitigate these risks in a way that is convenient for them. Alright, so that's what I currently do. In terms of my other skills, I have been a Linux system administrator for 3 years, and that involved me running and maintaining Linux servers. So I'm pretty good with Linux. I was actually Linux Plus certified, so I am quite good with Linux. When it comes down to my full stack web development experience, I've been a full stack web developer for about 6 years now, and I started my web development career back when I was 15, and essentially, again, my skill set revolves around creating payment websites and finance websites, or for that matter, e-commerce websites. I'm really a specialist in terms of integrating payment systems and so on and so forth. All right, so I've created about 200 websites for clients, all around the world. What I do in my free time, I'm an Android app developer and game developer. So, I'm good with programming languages like Java, XML, C# for Xamarin for, multi-platform development, and Kotlin. Kotlin was my latest acquired programming skill. So I've been a seasoned Android app developer for 8 years, ever since I was 13. So I'm quite good with Android, you can say. And one of my latest skills that I've picked up is I'm essentially a cryptocurrency expert, in the sense that I've been with cryptocurrency since 2014, and I've invested in a few cryptocurrencies. And now I am a blockchain developer, so I actually focus on the Solidity programming language and the development of decentralized applications. Now, before we get started, let's take or have a brief overview of what we'll be looking at in this course. So starting with the first section, where we'll be looking at getting started with Metasploit. So this section will really revolve around understanding the basics and the fundamentals of Metasploit, and also learning the basic Metasploit framework console commands. Alright, so just to get you up and running with Metasploit and understanding how the interface works, how the framework console is all in relation to using it with Linux. Alright, we'll then move on to scanning services with Metasploit. So that section will involve the information gathering and the scanning section, or the scanning process in regards to penetration testing. So we'll be looking at how to scan for different services and vulnerabilities with the Metasploit framework console. Alright, we'll then move on to exploitation, where we'll be looking at the exploitation of different services and operating systems. So we'll be looking at how to use the Metasploit framework console to perform exploitation on different operating systems and services. We'll then move on to post-exploitation, which is extremely important, and in that section we'll be looking at how to perform post-exploitation techniques with Metasploit. So for example, we will be taking a look at how to use the Meterpreter and the Meterpreter commands after performing exploitation. We'll then finally end the course with looking at how to perform a complete penetration test with Metasploit. So we'll be looking at how to go from information gathering to exploitation and post-exploitation with the Metasploit framework console, performing a real exploitation on a real service and target. Alright, so that is what we'll be looking at in this course. Now, when it comes down to the prerequisites for the course, a basic knowledge of operating systems is required. So basic knowledge of Windows, Mac OS or Linux is required to get through this course, and this is all to do with navigating the operating system. The second prerequisite is a basic understanding of networking, so you should be familiar with what IP addresses are, what IPv4 protocols are, etc, etc. You then need to have a basic understanding of Linux, as you need to know how to navigate the Linux interface, whether it be a graphical user interface or a command line based interface. As for the system requirements, they should be very basic. You can take this course whether you're using Windows, Linux or Mac, it really doesn't matter. As for your storage, you will need at least a minimum of 65 gigabytes of free disk space for the purpose of virtualization. As for your RAM requirements, 4 gigabytes will suffice, but I would recommend a good amount is about 8 gigabytes of RAM. As for your CPU, any CPU will do that supports virtualization in the event that we are going to be using virtualization software, or you do choose to use virtualization software. As for the course goals, the goals are the fact that you should know the benefits of using Metasploit. You should be able to learn how the Metasploit framework commands are used for performing a penetration test. You should learn the process of how to scan for services and different operating systems. You should know how to perform exploitation and how to exploit different systems and operating systems. You should then also know how to perform post-exploitation with Metasploit, and that is in regards to using the interpreter. And finally, you should know how to complete a full penetration test with Metasploit. So you should know how to go from scanning, information gathering, to exploitation, post-exploitation, and then finally clearing your tracks. That being said, that is an overview of what we'll be looking at in this course, and I'll be seeing you in the first section of the course.